Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Waharakak Wadash, and double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone that have taught us this truth, and the elder bishops on down through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai and Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Brakatham to the elect overall whom this gospel is for. So this is from edition.cnn.com, and I just want to address this as well, as this reads: Trump wants an Iron Dome over the U.S., but even a mini version in the Pacific is taking a while. Seoul, South Korea, CNN: President Donald Trump has called for an expansive next-generation missile defense shield for the mainland, the U.S., something modeled on Israel's formidable defenses, typified by its signature Iron Dome system. A defensive dome for the U.S., a country's hundreds of times the size of Israel, would require massive scale, and as well as space-based interceptors, and almost certainly be decades away. That's exactly what I was thinking too. Not what I was, but what I am thinking. Yet on the pieces of U.S. soil perhaps most vulnerable to missile attacks, the Pacific island of Guam, work is well underway on the kind of multi-layered missile defense that could point the way. However, experts say even the faces steep challenges. So that's all I'm going to read right there. There were some points that I want to speak on as well, where it mentioned that it can take and there's a point that I want to mention that it could take decades, right? Because when you look at Israel, how long did it take for Israel to build their Iron Dome? Let's begin by reading from here. From proposal to deployment, Iron Dome's entire development cycle was slightly more than 4 years, a remarkable short period for a new weapon system. This was in Israel. Okay, so if America is way more larger than Israel, how long would that take? That could very well take I'm going to guess maybe 60 years to make. All right, and they're struggling in time to actually make the one which is going to be based in the Pacific area. And that's a small one. Struggling with that. So that means they would have to have a lot of time, which they don't have. By the time they get done, let's just say they're on the process of making one right now for America. We'll be in the year 2085, which we don't got that kind of time. Esau, I'm gonna say primarily, to be precise here, Esau don't have 60 years. Okay, so that means it's not gonna happen. So now let's go and read the book of Ezekiel 38, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to get away from the will of the Lord. Bible prophecy. Prophecy states, as this reads, Ezekiel 38:11, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages, and I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, and all of them dwelling without walls, and having neither bars nor gates. So this is the prophecy that Gog or Magog would go into America. In other words, the Russians are going to invade America with no defense. All right. And the only way that could be done is that the Lord puts the spirit of pride in them, which they already have that spirit in them already. But he intensifies that pride in them to make them feel that they don't need to defend themselves. All right. So Trump is thinking of building a wall or a Iron Dome, but it's too late because we're already in that stage of the third world. So they should have thought about this since they should have thought about this when the first war was being had, the First World War. That's when they should have thought about this. All right, but then again, they probably didn't even have the technology to do it. But either and or, I mean, it would have never came into existence. Because back then, they didn't have the technology, and right now, it's too late in the game to create an Iron Dome. If it took Israel 4 years, or a little over 4 years, as I've just read, then how long is it going to take them to make it? They ain't going to have time for that at all. So it wasn't going to happen any doggone way. Isaiah 47 and verse 8. Therefore, hear now this, thou art given to pleasures. And those pleasures is mentioned in the book of Revelations 18 and 12 to verse 14. That dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, I am and none else besides me. So with this way of thinking, we don't need to create any defenses. We don't have to take seriously our defense mechanisms, period. Because we're never going to be attacked. So the Lord put that spirit of being careless upon them, mixed them with pride. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, and one day the loss of children and widowhood, and they shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, and thou hast said, none seeth me, and thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. Why? Let's read this. And we're going to go back to the scripture. The knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom, and neither at any time the counsel of sin is prudence. Sirach 19 and 22. Back in Isaiah 47 and verse 10 again. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, and thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee, and thou hast said in thine heart, I am and none else besides me. Therefore shall evil come upon thee, and thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, and thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolations shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. So this destruction is going to come upon them suddenly. You know, it's just like the brother you call, man, just to shout that brother out, shalom to that brother. He was speaking about how they have the doomsday clock. Esau thinking that he could determine the time when his destruction is going to come. Esau, you don't know when your destruction is going to come. The Lord knows that. All right. Even though it's going to be them doing it, but the Lord, his will is in men. All right. Man's goings are of the Lord. So whatever Esau is going to do, he's going to do it in the Lord's time. And in this case, his own destruction that he's going to do is going to be by the counsel of the Lord himself. All right. So there you go. Yeah, I said what I had to say on this. With that, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bashmiel Shai, Bahashem Warakak Wadash. And that's just all I want to say on this. I just want to just keep this quick. So with that, yeah, Shalom.